Hello everybody, my name is L8RG8R2U's, and I have a face apparently. I don't really do a whole lot of face cam type videos, but I kind of want to make a quick video to discuss a couple things. We will be making an E3 reactions video pretty soon with James Rose, Green Carpets Gaming, and Pick the Garman. We can't do it this weekend unfortunately, but we will be recording it as soon as possible. But while the Nintendo Spotlight event is still fresh in my mind, I want to go over a couple things because I have a feeling that when we actually do get around to recording that discussion, I'm not going to have a chance to mention a couple things that I want to talk about just because of how naturally chaotic all those discussion videos have been. So let's discuss E3. I'm only going to be talking about a couple things in this video. I will not be talking about my complete opinions on the Nintendo Spotlight, because I am going to be saving that for the discussion video. I'm going to be talking, but I will be talking about a couple of the smaller stuff, so let's get right to it. Before Nintendo Spotlight even happened, during Ubisoft's conference was the proper announcement for Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. This was something that had been leaked all over the internet for a few months now, and I was one of the people out there who was like, oh my god, this sounds like a really dumb idea. And believe it or not, I actually like this idea now because I've seen the gameplay for it and it actually looks like a lot of fun. It reminds me a lot of Pokemon Conquest. I know a lot of people have been making comparisons to like XCOM and Fire Emblem and things like that, but it reminds me more so of Pokemon Conquest. If you don't know how that game works, it's you control a bunch of Pokemon on the field, and I have a gameplay clip on screen right now, but you'll see kind of what I mean. Like, you can move your characters a certain degree, and depending on where they are on the map, you can attack or defend or all that good stuff. So that's where Pokemon Conquest, I'm getting the vibes from that game when I see Mario plus Rabbids, and I love Pokemon Conquest, so that's a good thing. Other than that, Mario and Rabbids. Why? Why Mario and Rabbids of all things? Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the Rabbids in the world, but this is just something that, the idea of it just sounds so weird, but it is Rabbids after all, so, and they are like the embodiment of weirdness, so I guess it makes sense. But still, it's kind of a weird concept. Now, one last thing that I want to talk about with Mario and Rabbids, I know I'm not going to have a chance to talk about this during the discussion, but I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about this. My fear about this game isn't necessarily anything to do with the game itself, it's the after effects of it. Does this mean Rabbids are going to be included in the next Super Smash Bros. Game? Because think about it. Nintendo and Platinum Games worked together to make Bayonetta 2, and then she got included in Smash Bros. 4. That was awesome. Bayonetta is a cool character and all. But with Mario and Rabbids teaming up, does this mean that the Rabbids are going to be included as a new character in the next Smash Bros. Game? Maybe not Smash Bros. Deluxe, if that is indeed a true thing, but if they were to make a Smash Bros. 5 for the Switch, will the Rabbids be playable? I could totally see how that would work. They could be like a kind of a cross between the Ice Climbers or Olimar and Pikmin, where you have one central character and everybody else is controlled by AI, but it's still kind of a weird concept though, because if a character like that were to be included, I'd rather have Rayman playable because he's a platforming character, and looking at the games, he looks like he was built for Smash Brothers because he could do punches and gigs like that. But with Mario and Rabbids coming, I'm a little concerned of whether or not they're going to be included rather than Rayman. This doesn't mean that any of them is going to be included at all. We might not even get a Smash Brothers game on the Switch. But this is just something that I want to talk about because I haven't really seen a whole lot of people mention this online. The next game I want to talk about is Yoshi and Kirby. These were two brand new games that were announced during Nintendo's Spotlight event. They're both coming out next year, so that's exciting. The new Yoshi game looks all like Yoshi's Woolly World, and I believe it's being made by the same developer as well, so that makes a lot of sense. I loved Woolly World, so this makes me excited. And I'm really excited because of the fact that it is a 2D platformer, but it's in a 3D environment. What I loved about Yoshi's Woolly World was that everything was in 3D. You can really tell just the depth of the worlds, and everything looked like it was handcrafted, so that looked amazing. Same thing applies here, but they're taking it to another degree. So you can throw your eggs in the background and foreground to change around the environments. You can even switch the way the camera is rolling. So that sounds like a really cool idea. What I'm wondering is if they're going to do something along the lines of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, because there were a couple of levels in that game where the camera would go behind Donkey Kong. So I'm wondering if they're going to be doing something along the lines of that game. That'd be cool. I'm not expecting it though, but that would just be a pretty interesting thing for Goodfield to do. I think that's what their company is called. It might be not. Anyway, next thing is Kirby. The new Kirby game looks like a kind of a spiritual successor, sequel type thing for Kirby's Return to Dreamland. But the cool thing about this one is you don't control like King Dedede or Meta Knight or Waddle Dee or anything like that. You're controlling the enemies. So that is really cool because I've already said this all on my videos, but Kirby enemies are like the cutest thing ever. So like being able to control like a Waddle Dee, like not the Identity guy from Return to Dreamland, but being able to control characters like that is like really cool. And it reminds me a lot of that cancelled Kirby game on the GameCube where I don't remember who the other characters were, but there was one who looked like a giant monkey with a hammer. I think that's a common enemy in the Kirby games. I might be mistaken about that, but it seems like they're taking concepts from that game and implementing it into this new Kirby game for the Switch. So that sounds like a really interesting idea because I was really disappointed that they canceled that GameCube game because it looked like a sequel to 64, and Kirby 64 is my favorite Kirby game of all time. So it looks like they're taking those ideas into this new Kirby game, and that just looks awesome. The next thing I want to talk about is Skyrim and Rocket League. Now, I'm pointing out these two games in particular because these are what I consider the big third-party games for Nintendo's immediate future. You have other things like LEGO Worlds and FIFA, but I don't particularly care about those games. But the reason why I think Skyrim and Rocket League are important for the Switch is because I believe these are the games that are going to determine just how strong of a third-party lineup the Nintendo Switch is going to have. Because even though they said during their January event that the Nintendo Switch was going to have a lot of third-party companies, the same thing was said for the Wii U. You know, at the beginning of the Wii U's life, we did get games like Mass Effect 3 and Batman Arkham City and things like that, but those games didn't do well on the Wii U because those have been out for months, and they didn't really do a whole lot of new things to the Wii U version. Now, while Batman Arkham City did do a couple new things, like it was the Armored Edition, and you had cool things like being able to use the gamepad to control your back gadgets and things like that, when it came time for them to make new games, Batman Arkham Origins completely lacked the multiplayer features that were available in the other versions, and they never released Arkham Knight on the Wii U. So I think history is repeating itself right here, because we have Skyrim and Rocket League. Skyrim has been out for years, since the Xbox 360 days, and while it is cool that they're making new content with the game being compatible with the Zelda amiibo, that's just awesome, being able to run around the world of Skyrim with a Master Sword. I'm a big Zelda fan, as you can probably tell by the hat, but that just blew my mind when I saw that, so I'm really looking forward to that. You may have already played Skyrim before, but I highly recommend trying to get this game if you can for the Switch, so that Bethesda would know that their fans want to play their games on the Switch. So that by the time they make the next Elder Scrolls games that's like Skyrim 2 or whatever, they'll make it for the Switch, or whatever Nintendo console is available at the time when that game's released, because who knows when Skyrim 2 is going to happen, or whatever they've been calling the game. And Rocket League, I believe that's going to be the bigger third-party game for Nintendo's lineup right now, because this is an online-focused game. Nintendo isn't really known for having huge online communities, and while it has gotten better in recent years with the release of Splatoon and ARMS and Smash Bros. For Wii U, the thing though is that the third-party companies haven't really sown the same love for Nintendo's online features. Take a look at the Batman Arkham games. Arkham Origins didn't even have the online multiplayer in the Wii U version of that game. So, this is a huge step up for Nintendo's third-party lineup. Rocket League, like I said, has a big emphasis on multiplayer. And the thing is, this game has cross-platform compatibility, meaning you can, if you're a Switch player, you can play against people on the PC and Xbox 3 and Xbox One. I'm not sure about the PlayStation 4. I think Sony already confirmed that that's not going to happen. Hopefully down the line they'll change their minds, because I have friends on the PlayStation 4 who own Rocket League, and I want to play with them. And I'm pretty sure they don't want to get the Switch version because they already have the PlayStation 4 version. But back to my point. should reconsider getting Rocket League on the Switch, because this, like I said, this is an online multiplayer game, and if people see that Rocket League sold well on the Nintendo Switch, companies like Bungie and Blizzard, they may make their games for the Switch as well. We may get Overwatch down the line, we may get Destiny 3 down the line, who knows, but the important thing is, if Rocket League sells well on the Switch, that's going to put a lot of confidence in third-party companies for releasing their games on the Nintendo Switch. And like I said, I'm not going to be talking about every single thing Nintendo announced during their Spotlight event, because that's already something more suited to discuss with other people for the E3 Discussions video. When that video is uploaded, there'll be a card on screen right now taking you to that video, so go check that out if you want. But the last thing I want to talk about right now is stuff that Nintendo didn't know. People know that these games exist, but Nintendo didn't really show them off right now. I'm going to be talking about Metroid Prime 4, the new Pokemon game, and Pikmin 4. I'm going to be talking about Pikmin 4 first, because I think that's the bigger question everybody has in their minds right now, like, where is Pikmin 4? Shigeru Miyamoto confirmed a long time ago that the game was very close to being completed, but we have not seen anything from that game. So, here's what I think is happening. Hey Pikmin may be the reason why we haven't seen anything yet. They want that game to get its time in the spotlight right now. No pun intended. They want Hey Pikmin to have the spotlight right now, and they believe that if Pikmin 4 is shown off, then people are not going to care about Hey Pikmin. People already kind of don't really care that much about the game. I'm excited for it because I love the Pikmin series and that game looks fun, even though it seems more like a concept that would make more sense on a regular DS than a 3DS, but Hey Pikmin still looks pretty cool. But I don't think that's the entire reason why Pikmin 4 wasn't demonstrated. When Shigeru Miyamoto said that Pikmin 4 was almost done, that was around the time that the Wii U was still around, so it may be possible that that game was going to borrow a lot of the same gaming mechanics that Pikmin 3 did. Pikmin 3 has some of the best gamepad integration for any Wii U game out there. You had an on-screen map, you can use it to aim your Pikmin if you're using that control scheme. It was really great. The Nintendo Switch doesn't have anything like that. It's a single-screen experience, so when Nintendo realized that they needed to get the Switch out and released, and they needed to have a lot of good, early games released for it. They started scaling back on the games that were in development for the Wii U. So maybe around that point in time, Shigeru Miyamoto figured that if he did try to release the game on the Wii U, then people wouldn't care about it at all. That's kind of what unfortunately happened with Tokyo Mirage Sessions and Paper Mario Color Splash. Both are really great games, especially Tokyo Mirage Sessions, but because they came out so late in the Wii U's lifespan, nobody cared about them. People wanted to know more information about the Nintendo Switch, so Miyamoto must have known that was going to happen if Pikmin 4 was released for the Wii U. So, and because it is very possible that it would have borrowed a lot of the Pikmin 3's the gameplay mechanics for the gamepad, and because the Switch is a single-screen experience, this may be the reason why we haven't heard anything about the game, because they would have practically had to have restarted the development from scratch for Pikmin 4 on the Switch. So, we'll probably get information about that game down the line. Maybe a Nintendo Direct before the end of the year, but if we're going to be talking more realistically, I think this is going to be how they're going to open up their next E3, like how Pikmin 3 was how they opened up their 2012 conference. I think Pikmin 4 is how they're going to be announcing their 2018 E3 conference, or whatever they're going to be doing. So, with that being said, let's move on to Metroid, because, oh my god, that looks so good! Like, when that game was first demonstrated, all they showed was space. That was it. They showed space, and I was like, this is not Metroid. They're not going to be announcing a new Metroid. I know they're not announcing a new Metroid. This isn't a Mario Galaxy remake either, because they have Odyssey down the line. Whoa, those constellations look like a Metroid symbol. Is that number 4? Yes! Metroid! I tried so hard not to scream at the top of my lungs from pure enjoyment because of that announcement. My other roommates were sleeping at the time, and it was 9 AM, so I didn't want to be too loud, but I was so close to screaming from absolute joy, because Metroid Prime 4 is coming. I love Metroid Prime 3, And the fact that we're finally getting the 4th game is just amazing. If Federation Force had to happen for us to get to this point, then I am happy. And the really cool thing is, we're getting 2 Metroids. We're getting a 3DS remake of Metroid 2, and we're finally getting Metroid Prime 4. This is a great time to be a Metroid fan. I honestly cannot believe this is happening, because we haven't really had a real Metroid game since Prime 3. Now, while Other M was kind of a big high-profile game, that didn't turn out that well, and a lot of the Metroid community likes to pretend that game never existed. But the fact that they're making a Metroid game for the 3DS, and they're making a Metroid Prime 4, this is just amazing. Like, I'm really happy this is happening. This is proof that Nintendo has been listening to their fans, and they're going to try to make the Switch's lineup as best as they possibly can. Like, if you really look at it, the first year of the Switch's lifespan is equivalent to the entirety of the Wii U. Because we're getting a new Mario game, we got Mario Kart, we got a new Zelda game, we got a new online multiplayer game, we got Splatoon, we got Pokemon Tournament. I don't know why I had a funny accent right there, but we're getting Metroid. That never happened on the Wii U, aside from that minigame in Nintendo Land, but a proper Metroid game never happened on the Wii U, and we're getting it for the Switch, which is amazing. So, the last thing I'll talk about right now is the new Pokemon game that was confirmed for development. There were a lot of rumors about Pokemon Stars, which was supposed to be a 3rd version of Sun and Moon that was supposed to happen for the Switch, apparently. But then Nintendo announced that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was going to happen, which, let me rant about that real quick. Why are people so mad that they're not getting a 3rd version on a home console? Because you're getting 2 new versions of that game for the system that is already on. So you're getting 2 new versions of it rather than just one. So I don't understand why people are so mad about that, because like, you're getting a reason to go back to the world of Sun and Moon on the system you already own it on. And there's never been a 3rd version of a Pokemon game that was on a different system than the original versions. I don't understand why people are so mad about that. So that's the reason why I'm excited that Pokemon is coming to the Switch, and that it doesn't sound like it's going to be Pokemon Stars. It may very well be, but from my point of view, this is either going to be the 8th generation Pokemon games for the Switch, or it's going to be something along the lines of the Pokemon Coliseum games. Now, if you remember from the E3 prediction videos, you know that was one of my predictions that I wanted for the Nintendo Switch, to have a Coliseum-esque game on the system. So that sounds like what we're going to be getting. It might also be the 8th generation Pokemon games, and whatever it's going to be, it sounds really cool. We didn't see any gameplay from it, but I have a feeling that this and Metroid Prime 4 are going to be like the big focus for Nintendo's 2018 E3 plans. So that may very well be the case. It may not. Who knows at this point? But wherever the case may be, holy god, this E3 was awesome. Alright, so that's basically all that I wanted to say about that. I'm going to be talking more about my opinions on Nintendo's E3, such as Super Mario Odyssey, Fire Emblem Warriors, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and the Xbox and Sony conferences when we record the E3 Reactions video with James Earls, Greek Opus Gaming, and Pinky Gummerman. But that's basically all I wanted to say, so thank you guys so much for watching this video, and until next time, it's gear to you. Oh yeah. You've been eaten.